Hi, this is Samantha, the Pro Se Queen. Today I want to talk to you about two topics real briefly. One is when the court plays tricks with you, when the defendants play dirty. And second, I want to talk to you about presentation of your documents. You know, those two things work hand in hand. And the reason why I say this is because, you know, when you start doing your case, if you're pro se, things that you're going to come up against is that you're going to come up against where the defendants, you 9 times out of 10, when you sue a company or corporation or whatever, you're not dealing with one attorney. You're probably dealing with two or three. You got the one that you talk to, and then you got the one behind the scenes, and then you have the paralegal. You have so many people. You may have 4 people against your one. So appearance and how you address things is very important. Let's talk about the dirty tricks. For one, you got your evidence. You present it right. Then all of a sudden, you know, they filing a motion to dismiss. They saying that you don't have a case. You failure to state a claim in which they can seek relief. Well, I'm going to give you a good hint. The Supreme Court, you got to find the case now. The Supreme Court says that you don't have to be a smart person. All you have to do is state it in plain English what happened, and then if they answer, that's notification. That is, and then you can seek relief. You may want to also, like I said, when I'm doing a case, my biggest friend in the whole wide world is my notebook. Got it from Walmart for 50 cents. So I usually go in the clearance section, and I usually get a ton of these because I normally write through something. One thing is always good for you to get if you're doing something is, I got a lot of stuff, is to get a calendar. I have a calendar, and I usually write down a lot of times dates, calendar dates and all of that. So I am very prepared when I'm doing. I know when my brief is due, when I don't just leave it up here. I write it down so that I know when my brief is due, when the defendants file, what I need to file, all of that. That's in state and federal court. Now, when they start playing dirty, usually when they start talking about you as a bad person or you as an individual, or they put some in that a case that you did that has nothing to do with that, that's because it's called desperation. That means that they're trying to take the evidence part away just so the judge can kind of have a biased opinion of you. So when you do that, that's why you get your little notebook out. You write down all the little things that they're saying, and then you go, instead of you defending it like, no, I didn't say that, no. What you do is you go find a federal case or a state case that relates to their behavior. Can they use it against you? Is it an appealable issue? Things like that. So that's what this book is about. You're not trying to defend your character, because defending your character, you can say, well, I didn't say that. Well, no, they said this, or you can go start telling the whole story. That's irrelevant. The relevant part is that can they use that against you? So this is why your little notebook is in handy, and I like to keep a lot of these in handy. I have them in shells, and I have them in the little binders, so that when I'm the ones that I've written into and the ones that I haven't, so I can have easy access. So these are my friends. They usually keep all my cases in here related to so much stuff. If I do stuff from different states, I get a new notebook, and then that's what I do. So let's say if I'm helping somebody in Texas, I got my Texas notebook, so I can be able to organize and go and say, okay, well, we're dealing with employment law. Tabs on the side, boom, I can say, well, this is what they said about employment law. And then I can, if I don't know it, then I can fill my notebook up. So my notebook is my best friend, okay? Now, that's one part. Second part is that when you're doing something, in court, presentation is so important. It is so important. I'm pulling out stuff because I want you to see. A lot of times when we are filing in federal court, I'm going to give you something. I'm going to block out this person's name, but I'm going to give you something that has credit acceptance. A lot of times when you're dealing with something, presentation is something else. And you don't have to be an attorney to do that, but this is something right here. I just blocked out the person name. But when you're doing presentation, And especially when I'm going to the appellate court, I'm pro se. They're so used to seeing shabby work. So what I do is I draft my brief, I print it out, I go through it, I make sure all the cases are in alphabetical order. I make sure that all my cases is in there. I learned how to do side notes, the little notes that you see at the bottom when you talk about that. I had to learn all of that. And one thing when I do is when I send it off to court, if you're not doing it electronically, I use these binders. I use black binders. I use them. They're at Walmart. They're at any supply store or Walmart. And when I do it, I usually have a lot of these. They clear, and it goes like this. When I do it, hold on, like this, so they see it. I make sure I got my evidence in there. I use tabs, like to alphabet tabs or number tabs, so that they can see my evidence and they can just tab through it. They know what I'm talking about when I'm doing the outline. These are very helpful because you want to make them a good brief makes people want to read it. When the brief is not right, or if it's not done correctly, if it's not formatted right, I'm gonna be honest. The appellate court they really don't, even though you're pro se, they'll just boom and then send you anything. Okay, so that's important. And how I learned that is that I had to go through the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court does not play. They do not play. They will send that stuff back. You can overnight it. They'll send it right back and tell you, now you need to do this. If they're interested in the case, they'll tell you, look, you need to do this, do that, do this, or we won't see it. But if they don't want to do it, they'll just, deny it and send it back. But if they constantly telling you, look, I want you to do this, you need to do it how it is, then that means that you have a probable chance of getting into the Supreme Court. So, I hope this is helpful. I try to tell pro se people that, doing this and even doing appellate stuff, it is not like it's a book. It has to be in order. It has to be formatted. Even when you're doing in district court and you're doing motions and stuff, it has to be in order. It has to be right, because, you got to remember something. A lot of times, you don't have to defend everything that's in a defendant's motion, especially when you got evidence to support your claim. Because you got to remember now, they're trying to they don't have a case, but they trying to prolong it. They trying to do stuff to prolong your case, the case, so that you will get tired, you would get worn out, you would just give in, and you would just say, okay, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and just settle with this because it's too long, it's costing too much. But that's the price that you have to pay if you want to get your case heard. A lot of attorneys don't like doing it because it's time consuming. I do it because it's time consuming. And, I have to, I talk to people and find out. Another thing that's helpful that I'm going to tell you, and then I'm going to end this, is that get your good calendar. I got my good calendar, and see what it says. Amazing things will happen. Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Pop, pop. But anyway, I got me a calendar, and what I do is that, I keep cases. I'm not gonna go into the one. I'm going to my September. Like my September, I put, if things September the 3rd, I put things in there that, okay, my brief is due September the 3rd. Just say it's due in September. August, I put deadline here. Even though it's setting up here that it's due here, I give myself a week deadline. That means that I'm giving myself enough time that I got this gap. I got this gap between here and here. That helps me out when I'm trying to, if I have a brief or a motion or whatever that's a deadline, and I don't want to be like real stressed out before I do it, because I know it's due on the 3rd. Okay, so here it is, August the 17th. I got that 2-week gap. I need to be working on it more harder now because it's due September. I know it don't make any sense, but it's giving me that cushion that, if I need to add something in, I'm still working on it, but I'm not stressed out and working on it like, you know, I can just work at it still work on my pace. I have time to focus and concentrate on what I'm doing, and the outcome will be good. So today I hope I gave you some information if you're doing your case by yourself. Um, the tips and stuff that you need to do. I do charge because these are books. When you're talking about appellate brief, you're not, or a case, a lot of people, want to sue, and that's fine. But you got to realize something. What your paperwork makes the case. It makes the case. If you going and talking too much, they don't want to hear that. They want it going direct to the point. And a lot of times, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that too, and a case that I had. But anyway, that's on another subject. But I hope, like I said, if you're gonna do it, if you're gonna go before the court, this is you. This when you talking, their brief is you. It's telling you, and how you present yourself affects everything. You don't want to go to a job interview with tennis shoes and shabby and stuff. If you want that job, you're gonna dress up. So this is what it is. It's dressing yourself up in the form of a paper so that you will be able to prevail. I hope this was interesting and entertaining. Please, you can watch my Cash App, donate to the channel, donate to the cause, and today I'm going to take my brief in, and yes, I did do it like this, and so I'm taking it overnight because in the Sixth Circuit I can't electronic file, and we're gonna talk about that too. We got so many subjects to talk about. So thank you for watching my channel. You guys have a great day, okay, and be safe.